Ezekiel chapter 43. Afterward he brought me to the gate, even the gate that looks toward the east. Behold, the glory of the God of Israel came from the way of the east. His voice was like the sound of many waters, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. It was like the appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city, and the visions were like the vision that I saw by the river Chebar, and I fell on my face. Yahweh's glory came into the house by the way of the gate which faces toward the east. The Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court, and behold, Yahweh's glory filled the house. I heard one speaking to me out of the house, and a man stood by me. He said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell among the children of Israel forever. The house of Israel will no more defile my holy name, neither they nor their kings, by their prostitution and by the dead bodies of their kings in their high places, in their setting of their threshold by my threshold and their doorpost beside my doorpost. There was a wall between me and them, and they have defiled my holy name by their abominations which they have committed. Therefore I have consumed them in my anger. Now let them put away their prostitution, and the dead bodies of their kings far from me. Then I will dwell among them forever. You, Son of man, show the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure the pattern. If they are ashamed of all that they have done, make known to them the form of the house, its fashion, its exits, its entrances, its structure, all its ordinances, all its forms, and all its laws, and write it in their sight, that they may keep the whole form of it, and all its ordinances, and do them. This is the law of the house. On the top of the mountain the whole limit around it shall be most holy. Behold, this is the law of the house. These are the measurements of the altar by cubits, the cubit is a cubit and a hand width, the bottom shall be a cubit, and the width a cubit, and its border around its edge a span, and this shall be the base of the altar. From the bottom on the ground to the lower ledge shall be 2 cubits, and the width 1 cubit, and from the lesser ledge to the greater ledge shall be 4 cubits, and the width a cubit. The upper altar shall be 4 cubits, and from the altar hearth and upward there shall be 4 horns. The altar hearth shall be 12 cubits long by 12 wide, square in its 4 sides. The ledge shall be 14 cubits long by 14 wide in its 4 sides, and the border about it shall be half a cubit, and its bottom shall be a cubit around, and its steps shall look toward the east. He said to me, Son of man, the Lord Yahweh says, These are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they make it, to offer burnt offerings on it, and to sprinkle blood on it. You shall give to the Levitical priests who are of the offspring of Zadok, who are near to me, to minister to me, says the Lord Yahweh, a young bull for a sin offering. You shall take of its blood and put it on its 4 horns, and on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the border all around. You shall cleanse it and make atonement for it that way. You shall also take the bull of the sin offering, and it shall be burned in the appointed place of the house, outside of the sanctuary. On the 2nd day you shall offer a male goat without defect for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar, as they cleansed it with the bull. When you have finished cleansing it, you shall offer a young bull without defect and a ram out of the flock without defect. You shall bring them near to Yahweh, and the priest shall cast salt on them, and they shall offer them up for a burnt offering to Yahweh. 7 days you shall prepare every day a goat for a sin offering. They shall also prepare a young bull and a ram out of the flock, without defect. 7 days shall they make atonement for the altar and purify it. So shall they consecrate it. When they have accomplished the days, it shall be that on the 8th day and onward, the priests shall make your burnt offerings on the altar and your peace offerings. Then I will accept you, says the Lord Yahweh. Ezekiel chapter 44. Then he brought me back by the way of the outer gate of the sanctuary, which looks toward the east, and it was shut. Yahweh said to me, This gate shall be shut. It shall not be opened, no man shall enter in by it, for Yahweh, the God of Israel, has entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut. As for the prince, he shall sit in it as prince to eat bread before Yahweh. He shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate, and shall go out the same way. Then he brought me by the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, Yahweh's glory filled Yahweh's house, so I fell on my face. Yahweh said to me, Son of man, mark well, and see with your eyes, and hear with your ears all that I tell you concerning all the ordinances of Yahweh's house and all its laws, and mark well the entrance of the house, with every exit of the sanctuary. You shall tell the rebellious, even the house of Israel, the Lord Yahweh says, you house of Israel, let that be enough of all your abominations, in that you have brought in foreigners, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to profane it, even my house, when you offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant, to add to all your abominations. You have not performed the duty of my holy things, but you have set performers of my duty in my sanctuary for yourselves. The Lord Yahweh says, no foreigner, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any foreigners who are among the children of Israel. But the Levites who went far from me when Israel went astray, who went astray from me after their idols, they will bear their iniquity. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having oversight at the gates of the house, and ministering in the house. They shall kill the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister to them. Because they ministered to them before their idols, and became a stumbling block of iniquity to the house of Israel, therefore I have lifted up my hand against them, says the Lord Yahweh, and they will bear their iniquity. They shall not come near to me, to execute the office of priest to me, nor to come near to any of my holy things, to the things that are most holy, but they will bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. Yet I will make them performers of the duty of the house, for all its service and for all that will be done therein. But the Levitical priests, the sons of Zadok, who performed the duty of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, shall come near to me to minister to me. They shall stand before me to offer to me the fat and the blood, says the Lord Yahweh. They shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table, to minister to me, and they shall keep my instruction. It will be that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments. No wool shall come on them while they minister in the gates of the inner court, and within. They shall have linen turbans on their heads, and shall have linen trousers on their waists. They shall not clothe themselves with anything that makes them sweat. When they go out into the outer court, even into the outer court to the people, they shall put off their garments in which they minister and lay them in the holy rooms. They shall put on other garments, that they not sanctify the people with their garments. They shall not shave their heads, or allow their locks to grow long. They shall only cut off the hair of their heads. None of the priests shall drink wine when they enter into the inner court. They shall not take for their wives a widow, or her who is put away, but they shall take virgins of the offspring of the house of Israel, or a widow who is the widow of a priest. They shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the common, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. In a controversy they shall stand to judge, they shall judge it according to my ordinances. They shall keep my laws and my statutes in all my appointed feasts. They shall make my Sabbaths holy. They shall go into no dead person to defile themselves, but for father, or for mother, or for son, or for daughter, for brother, or for sister who has had no husband, they may defile themselves. After he is cleansed, they shall reckon to him 7 days. In the day that he goes into the sanctuary, into the inner court, to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, says the Lord Yahweh. They shall have an inheritance, I am their inheritance, and you shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. They shall eat the meal offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering, and every devoted thing in Israel shall be theirs. The first of all the firstfruits of everything, and every offering of everything, of all your offerings, shall be for the priest. You shall also give to the priest the first of your dough, to cause a blessing to rest on your house. The priest shall not eat of anything that dies of itself or is torn, whether it is bird or animal. Ezekiel chapter 45. Moreover, when you divide by lot the land for inheritance, you shall offer an offering to Yahweh, a holy portion of the land. The length shall be the length of 25,000 reeds, and the width shall be 10,000. It shall be holy in all its border all around. Of this there shall be a 500 by 500 square for the holy place, and 50 cubits for its pasture lands all around. Of this measure you shall measure a length of 25,000, and a width of 10,000. In it shall be the sanctuary, which is most holy. It is a holy portion of the land, it shall be for the priests, the ministers of the sanctuary, who come near to minister to Yahweh. It shall be a place for their houses and a holy place for the sanctuary. 25,000 cubits in length and 10,000 in width shall be for the Levites, the ministers of the house, as a possession for themselves, for 20 rooms. You shall appoint the possession of the city 5,000 cubits wide and 25,000 long, side by side with the offering of the holy portion. It shall be for the whole house of Israel. What is for the prince shall be on the one side and on the other side of the holy allotment and of the possession of the city, in front of the holy allotment and in front of the possession of the city, on the west side westward, and on the east side eastward, and in length corresponding to one of the portions, from the west border to the east border. In the land it shall be to him for a possession in Israel. My princes shall no more oppress my people, but they shall give the land to the house of Israel according to their tribes. The Lord Yahweh says, Enough you, princes of Israel. Remove violence and plunder, and execute justice and righteousness. Stop dispossessing my people. Says the Lord Yahweh. You shall have just balances, a just ephah, and a just bath. The ephah and the bath shall be of one measure, that the bath may contain 1/10 of a homer, and the ephah 1/10 of a homer. Its measure shall be the same as the homer. The shekel shall be 20 gerahs. 20 shekels plus 25 shekels plus 15 shekels shall be your mina. This is the offering that you shall offer, the sixth part of an ephah from a homer of wheat, and you shall give the sixth part of an ephah from a homer of barley, and the set portion of oil, of the bath of oil, 1/10 of a bath out of the core, which is 10 baths, even a homer, for 10 baths are a homer, and 1 lamb of the flock out of 200, from the well-watered pastures of Israel, for a meal offering, for a burnt offering, and for peace offerings, to make atonement for them, says the Lord Yahweh. All the people of the land shall give to this offering for the prince in Israel. It shall be the prince's part to give the burnt offerings, the meal offerings, and the drink offerings, in the feasts, and on the new moons, and on the Sabbaths, in all the appointed feasts of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offering, the meal offering, the burnt offering, and the peace offerings, to make atonement for the house of Israel. The Lord Yahweh says, In the first month, on the first day of the month, you shall take a young bull without defect, and you shall cleanse the sanctuary. The priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering and put it on the doorposts of the house, and on the 4 corners of the ledge of the altar, and on the posts of the gate of the inner court. So you shall do on the 7th day of the month for everyone who errs, and for him who is simple. So you shall make atonement for the house. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, you shall have the Passover, a feast of 7 days, unleavened bread shall be eaten. On that day the prince shall prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bull for a sin offering. The 7 days of the feast he shall prepare a burnt offering to Yahweh, 7 bulls and 7 rams without defect daily the 7 days, and a male goat daily for a sin offering. He shall prepare a meal offering, an ephah for a bull, an ephah for a ram, and a hin of oil to an ephah. In the 7th month, on the 15th day of the month, during the feast, he shall do like that for 7 days. He shall make the same provision for sin offering, the burnt offering, the meal offering, and the oil.